Good morning, everyone. I think I'll keep this very brief. I was very fortunate in working with a lot of professional people in the banking sector in Libya, and they made our task very easy, and hopefully we helped them in completing their tasks smoothly. Initially, we put in a number of scenarios on how the situation in Tripoli will be, from the very best scenario to the worst case scenario. And as Dr. Aref mentioned earlier, we were fortunate that things were far better than what we expected. So essentially, we were in touch with the key people in the central bank, both in Benghazi and in Tripoli. We managed to marry the two together, and they worked very well from day one. The issues we had was the liquidity issue in Tripoli and lack of banknotes. And I'd like to give special thanks to the Executive Office of Dr. Mahmoud Jibril and to the Libyan mission in New York, the UN mission, Dr. Brahim Debashi, for all their hard work in getting the Libyan banknotes released from the UK. Securing the premises was a major issue for us as well, and we worked closely with the local councils, with the Ministry of Interior in Libya to secure the local branch network and ensure that there is no major incidents at those premises. We also would like to give special thanks to the people who worked on re-establishing the banking system, the RTGS, and the special work done by Engineer Hussam in Tripoli to get the work done, and working with the IT team in the Central Bank of Libya. We're also engaged with the World Bank and the IMF on a number of fronts, initiated the discussions in Paris, and we're working with them to get them to come and assist the central bank in any issues. By far, the return to work has been rather smooth, and we were very, very happy and encouraged by what we saw. In terms of the retail banks, the banks opened their doors before Eid, which was a great achievement given the situation in Tripoli at the time. And people were able to withdraw up to the ceiling of 250 Libyan dinars, even though there was very little cash in the vaults in the central bank. But that went a long way in kickstarting the economy in Tripoli, and we saw people able to celebrate Eid, people able to go out and buy clothes for their kids and so on. And that enhanced the general feeling of comfort in Tripoli, and I think went a long way in helping people feel that there is stability coming back. Today, we have over 90% of the branches are up and running. Very little looting was reported, thanks to the participation of the local councils in securing these branches. People felt that this is part of their own national wealth, and they felt obliged to protect it. And I really like to applaud the spirit of the Libyan Thuwar and the general population at large. We saw very, very little theft and stealing. And even at one stage where there was actually looting in one of the branches of 330 Libyan dinars, within 24 hours, the money was returned to the branch. There was a sense of national pride that these things should not happen. And really, I'd like to go out and extend my thanks to all people who were involved. In terms of the stock market, obviously operation is suspended. We had discussions with them. They are using the time to relocate to new premises. They're using the time to get their IT system up and running. They have a process in terms of restarting trading in the foreseeable future, but that will be done in an orderly fashion to protect the assets of people and of companies. In terms of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, I'm sure you'll have some questions there. The situation there still remains that the assets are still frozen. The Board of Directors and Board of Trustees are also frozen. The person responsible for transitional period is Mr. Rafiq, and his work continues under the direction of the Executive Office. This is a continuation of the work he's been doing for the last 6 months. Mr. Layas still remains to be the chairman of the institution of the LIA, pending reconstitution of the board of the Board of Directors and the Board of Trustees. I'll take any questions later after they finish this. Wafiq Shater, Wafikshater. And I'd like to invite Mr. Hatem Ghariani to talk about the international finance. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. There's really not much to say about the temporary finance mechanism, of which I'm a member of the steering committee, that you already don't know. It continues to serve its purpose with what funds it has, paying for salaries in the Nafusa Mountains and for shipments of fuel oil from Vitol, etc. However, I expect that, you know, with the developments on the ground and the unfreezing of Libyan assets, it will play a more and more diminishing role in the coming future. What I would like to talk about is I accompanied the NTC on their first historic trip from Benghazi to Tripoli, and I can give you the perspective of the average person in Tripoli, because I didn't stay with them in the compounds or in the hotels. I stayed in the building where I have an apartment, so I stayed with the local people, and I suffered with them, you know, the lack of water, the lack of electricity, the lack of security, and I have to say, you know, hats off to the people of Tripoli for behaving in such a civilized manner, and also to the hard work that was done by my colleagues in the stabilization committees. Crime was at a very minimal, and I'm happy to say that within a week the police were operating, and we even took part in apprehending some looters who were pretending to be revolutionaries, wanting to knock down doors and go and loot people's apartments, and the police were functioning just fine, despite the fact that a week after the liberation of Tripoli, petrol was still in shortage, so a lot of them couldn't come back to work because they lived long distances out of town. So by the time I left, within 10 days, fuel was available, water was available, and food as well, which was you know, in very limited supplies, was also coming in from the Tunisian border. So I just wanted to thank everybody, and I'd also like to to announce that HSBC, my employer, will be resuming activities in Libya very shortly, which is again another sign of confidence in Libya and free Libya. Thank you very much. Hatem Ghariani. I'm head of global banking and markets for HSBC, and I'm also a member of the steering committee of the temporary finance mechanism.
Is that HSBC based in Libya?
HSBC Libya, but I'm also based here in Dubai.
Sorry, can you spell Ghariani?
Gheriani. Thank you very much.